guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're here, I'm guessing that you may have watched part 1 of my wig making series. So this is part 2 and I'll be showing you how to make your wig using a sewing machine. Okay, so now in my previous video you guys saw how I installed this closure. So now I'm going to show you how to install your wefts to this wig cap. Okay, so now here what I have is my bundles. I have about 3 of them. So we're going to see how full we are going to make this wig. So this is a curly hair and I'm going to cut it now. Okay, so now I'm just going to press on the bundle because sometimes there's glue on it, and then I'm going to separate it. While I'm separating it, I'll be running my hand through the hair to avoid any kind of tangling. Okay, so I'm done separating, and now for you to make your wig you have to double your weft. If you can see here, I didn't completely separate the whole weft. I left 2 sides bind together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew these 2 wefts together, making it one. So to make it easy for me, I just follow on with the fold that already comes with the bundle. So now we're going to join these wefts together using a sewing machine. I'm using a Singer Tradition sewing machine, and I've already gone ahead to thread my machine. If you'd like to see how to thread your machine, please leave a comment below. I will gladly show you in another video. Okay guys, so now I'm going to sew the wefts together. So I'm going to feed this into the sewing machine and I'm going to lock it. If you guys want to see the settings I use for my stitches, please let me know. I'll gladly do that in another video. And then now I'm going to start stitching. You guys can see, if you notice the needle keeps going this way, that's because I put my settings in a zigzag design. And then I'm just going to run this stitch through to the end until I get to the end of this weft. If you're a beginner, this can be very intimidating, but don't worry. Okay. So now you can see that I have attached the weft. Let's see if this can focus. You can see that I've attached the 2 wefts together to make it one single weft, and that's what I'm going to use to start making my wig. Ideally, I like to run all my wefts before I start making my wig because I don't like any breaking transmission. But for the sake of this video and to keep this video short, we're just going to start. This weft is really long, so I'm guessing it's really going to go far in the making of this wig. So if you have any thread anywhere, you make sure you cut it. You want to make sure that your wig is very, very neat. So this is where my thread finished and I had to install another bobbin. So I'm just going to cut off the thread. Okay, so now we're ready to start. So I'm going to pick up my wig cap. Remember the lines? These lines will serve as a guide for me to install the wefts on this wig cap. So I'm going to start from this end here. I'm going to put this under the machine, pick up my wefts, and place it right at the beginning here, this point. Now what I do to make sure that my wigs are very secure, yes, I sew with a zigzag stitch, but before I start my zigzag stitch, I just like to turn the knob of my sewing design and turn it to a straight stitch, and then I'm just going to put this right under, close it, and run my stitch. I'm going to reverse it. So now I know that that weft is secure. Now I'm going to switch it back to my zigzag stitch and start sewing for real. So you can see here it's secure now, it's not going anywhere. That is for extra security. You don't want anything losing. If you want, you can still reverse it and then start sewing. You just place it right on that line. It's really not difficult, guys. So now I've gotten to the end of that line. I'm going to reverse my stitch for extra security, and I'm going to switch back the design to a straight stitch and then reverse again. So that's it, guys. This is the first stitch. So now I'm just going to cut it at this point. It doesn't really matter how you cut, but I like to flip. First of all, I cut my thread. Flip over and cut this one. And then I like to flip it over and cut through the weft, using the wig cap as a guide to know where I would cut from. So I just do this, and that's it. So we have done our first line, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Now remember that when I was drawing my lines, I had to skip this part where you have the loops. So I'm going to make sure that I still don't, when I'm sewing, I don't sew on those loops, because it's going to, this band is going to form as a security for me when I wear the wig. So I'm going to place this under again, pick up my weft, place it right at the beginning. Okay, for something else I have forgotten, sometimes this wig cap loosens at the corners. So what I do sometimes is to run a straight stitch across this plate for extra security. So I'm just going to do that now real quick. That's all, guys. So I just make sure that both ends are secure, so it doesn't loosen as time goes on. Because I noticed over time while wearing my wigs, I noticed that the band loosens around these corners, and you have people bringing back their wigs for you to stitch that part. So this is a solution to that problem. And we're going to do the same thing for this side. So I've done my first tacking for the second track. And now I'm going in with the zigzag design. And I'm going to reverse it, making sure that it is secure. Remember, we're trying to avoid this part, so you have to be very careful. One thing, when you're sewing using a sewing machine, don't stretch your wig cap. Just let the wig cap lay down flat and straight without any bumps, because if you stretch it, it will end up making your wig bumpy. Okay, we're done with the second track. So I'm going to also flip it over, follow the line of the wig cap to cut the weft. This is the only disadvantage of making a wig using a sewing machine. Most people don't like to cut their wefts, but oh well, something's got to give. That's it. So this is our second row. I'm going to do the same thing, following all up to the end. Okay guys, so I'm at the top of the wig now, and I'm just going to sew these two last lines. If you want, you can sew. Usually it's advisable not to sew on the closure in case you need to change it, but if you want, you can actually sew on it, and there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. So now I'm just going to sew the two lines across this point and call it a day. So guys, here you have it. I've made a full wig using a sewing machine. Now the next step is you have to style it so that the curls on the closure and the wefts will match. You always have to make sure that your work is neat, so you have to flip the wig and cut out any excess thread inside. So the last thing I'm going to do now is to cut off this part of the net. So you make sure when you're cutting it, you don't cut it too close to the stitch, if not your wig will rip apart. So you give a few inches, like 1 inch or thereabouts, and then you cut. Just cut all around. So now you're left with the lace closure alone. So that's it guys. If you feel like this is a lot, you can cut it slightly, but make sure you just don't get close to the stitches. That's it guys, we made our wig. I'm just going to go on ahead and style this wig, but pretty much that's all it takes to make a wig using a sewing machine. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Comment, like and share. And that's it guys. Remember, be good to yourself, love yourself, and of course love others. Stay safe guys. Bye.